Hi, I'm Jordan Bennett with Jordan Bennett and Associates at Keller Williams Realty, and today I want to answer a question that I've actually received 3 times in the last month, which is, do I have to sell my home to the buyer that makes the highest offer? The simple answer is no, but I want to touch on 2 different things. First off, I want to touch on what you look for in an offer. Ultimately, it comes down to 2 things. It comes down to price, and it comes down to terms. Ultimately, of course, you're going to look at what are you netting and ultimately putting in your pocket as a seller. But the other thing you're going to consider very carefully are the terms of the offer. Now, some of the things that you're going to consider are the down payment. In many cases, you're going to look at an offer that's maybe a cash offer with no loan in a more favorable light than a buyer who's got to jump through the hoops of getting a loan in order to close. You may also look at an offer with a higher down payment in certain occasions in a more favorable light than a low down payment buyer. Another thing you might consider is the contingency periods. Is this a buyer that has a home to sell, or is it a buyer that can actually close on your property without having another home to sell? Other things, if you are in the process of locating a home that you need to move into, do you have a buyer on the line that is willing to rent the property back to you and let you stay there for another 30, 60, 90 days while you locate your new property? So those are all some things to consider when you're looking at the price and the terms. And then just on another note, I want to touch on the idea that pricing is as much about strategy as it is about what you ultimately think that home is worth. So in other words, just because if you've aggressively priced your home in an attempt to get multiple offers, and then you get somebody who happens to offer your price or a little bit less, you are under no obligation to take that offer whatsoever. Because in many cases, that's why you've priced it more aggressively, is to try and negotiate that price up. So that all being said, typically your better offers are coming in earlier in the listing period when that listing is a hot new listing and it's first exposed to the market and everybody has that urgency about it and they want to see it and make an offer on it before somebody else does. That is typically your best time to sell your property for the most money possible, but it's not always the case, and these are questions that are all worth considering and that I'm happy to touch base with you on and have a conversation. Thanks for listening.